This is me, Kate, or at least what AI thinks I looked like in 1986. And this is my family, in AI of course. I grew up with two amazing parents and the best big brother a girl could ask for. We had a great life being part of the family farm. My father spent a lot of time growing up on the same ranch where his mother was also born. When my mother was about 18, she moved with her family to some property across the river. This is where her siblings grew up. My dad's father came from Alameda. My mom's mother was from San Francisco, but her father, my grandfather, was from Pennsylvania. His mother was from Ohio and his dad was from Missouri, but my father's family came all the way from New York. You guys get the point. We all come from everywhere. We're a nation of immigrants. My great-grandfather's family in Missouri had 3 kids. They each migrated in different directions, taking different pieces of their heritage with them. Each branch followed suit with their kids. Both branches migrated to California. And as each branch married into the other, working their way towards me, the combining of family heirlooms as well as the dispersals continued to happen all the way up to my mom and dad. As all this time passed, cherished pieces of our family's history were dispersed and diluted over and over again. Others lost or sold items along the way, leaving them with very little left of their own history. While people like me ended up with the majority of the items, this is what it felt like. How the heck was I going to make sense of it all? Figure out the story behind each piece? I knew that there were so many hints and clues to each of my ancestors' lives and personalities held within these collections. If only the items could talk to each other and start telling me stories. As I started organizing, these stories began to take shape, but I also began to realize how many pieces of the stories were still missing. They had ended up going with the other nodes from each generation. That's how the idea for Archoral began. I needed my family's help to identify items, dates, and places to add their memories to each facet of my collection. As I had my own questions and they had theirs, I used Archoral to connect the dots. I could enter information as sporadically as I received it. Each side of the family had their own stories, different pieces of information that gave meaning to items in my collection. The stories began to grow like wildfire, and Archoral gave me a space to compile the stories, the people, and the visits. One place where everyone could share in the journey and add their own bits of information. And we have to remember that objects are not just furniture and trinkets. They're photos, scrapbooks, letters, and home movies. So people often ask me where they should start. My answer is always, start with what you know and what you have. The constant in family history is the family, the people. Begin by entering the names you know, build out some relationships, then as new names are discovered, add them in too. Then move on to your photos. There are clues about time periods, locations, and you will always find more people. Start with adding one person to your archive and watch the magic grow. Eventually, entire generations and worlds begin to appear out of thin air.